Do you have the chair? You know, the chair, or maybe it's the treadmill or the exercise bike or just the dresser in your bedroom where you pile or you gently place at first all of those clothes that you're like, well, it's not dirty, so I'll probably wear it again, but I kind of need it to air out a little bit, so I'm not going to put it back in the closet. And then it just kind of turns into the dumping chair, and it turns into a big pile, and it gets crazy. This is a common problem. I have solved this problem finally for me, and maybe this solution will work for you too. So I am going to share with you my new solution that I'm super excited about. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just tell you, this is what the problem was, this is the solution, yay! And then all of you who were like, well, duh, that was easy, y'all can go on. And then I'll go through like, why this was so hard for me and why this was not natural and why I wasn't like, well, duh, I've been doing that my whole life. Anyway, I'll go into that after, okay? Here you go. Here's the problem. And here's the solution. That was easy, right? Okay? Those of you who are like, got it, I'm good, you go on, all right? All right, the rest of us who are still here. Why was this so hard? Why was this not something that was supernatural to me? Well, let me just kind of explain. My mother-in-law, when I cleaned out her house, she had that exact rack, like it was the actual one, on the back of her bedroom door, and she put her jewelry on it. And I was like, that is such a great idea. And so I brought it home and I stuck it on the back of my bathroom door, except that then in the middle of the night, when I have to go to the bathroom like 10 different times, 2 maybe, anyway, it would clank, 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 and it was really obnoxious. And so I was like, I'm not doing that. And I just left it up there, didn't even think about it. Well, we are working in our house, so who knows what you're gonna see in the background here. Kind of proud of this though, this is my master bedroom. Pretty good for me. Anyway, but we have been like painting and doing all this different stuff. So everything's getting moved around and it's been crazy. And when we had everything out of our bedroom, except for the bed that we like moved back in and forth. Anyway, I was looking for, where am I gonna put my clothes? Like my clothes that, let's just be honest, I was re-wearing. It was the middle of the summer. We were doing work on the house. I wasn't going anywhere, but I didn't want to just put them on top of the big old pile that was all I had at that point of furniture and things. So I was like, what am I gonna, and I looked up at that door and I went, well, duh, I'm gonna hang it right there. And I did that, and I was like, this is actually such a better solution than the chair, which I had actually gotten rid of a long time ago, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But I went, oh, this is exactly like probably what normal people do, except that this is a question I get all the time. Like, I get this question, what do I do with clothes that are not, you know, completely fresh and clean? So I want them to air out, but they're not dirty, and so I am gonna wear them again, you know, to try to make the most of that wash that I did before or whatever. What do I do with those clothes? So this is a normal problem. People have the chair. You've seen the internet memes about it, right? Okay. So I was like, this is such a in-my-face solution. Why did I not get this before? Like, why was this like new to me? So that's what I'm gonna talk about now. Everybody's gone, right? Who was like, oh, got it, good. Okay, so a little bit of the process for me. Y'all know I am all about decluttering, right? Like, I wrote the book on decluttering. So my big thing is I had to declutter and make that my focus and not try problem solving, okay? I'm not saying if you have a house full of clutter that you shouldn't go get one of those hooks. Get one of the hooks. I'm pointing because it's over there. Get one of the hooks. Go ahead and use it, but understand that decluttering is the thing that has made this actually be able to work in my home. What do I mean by that? Well, number one, I have so many fewer clothes than I ever did before, which is the first step to solving this problem of all of these, oh, I'll probably wear it again clothes that would always end up on the chair piled because I had so many other clothes I could wear. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have fewer clothes now, so I simply have forced myself to not be able to just pile it and leave it forever, okay? The other thing too is I decluttered the chair. that picture that I showed you a minute ago, it was staged. I'm like super proud of myself that I had to stage that. But that was not the chair that I had in my room that was the one that would pile and pile and pile. It was a different one that I actually just completely got out of my house. And that honestly was the first step, because here's the thing. My natural thing is I don't think about the fact that there's a chair there. I just put stuff on it and it just appears and ends up there. So getting rid of the chair was a huge step. Also, getting rid of the chair freed up space in my room, which then, you know, I've learned to love. Didn't used to know how much I would love that. I love it. Anyway, so I got rid of that chair. That was a huge step, but I still would find places, awkward places usually, the end of the bed, this dresser, whatever, to pile things on. So this is a good solution for that anyway, because here's the thing. One of the main things that I have had to, that has changed everything for me in my clutter issues is understanding what I call the container concept. Now, in my second book, Decluttering at the Speed of Life, there's a whole chapter that goes into a lot of explanation on this, but I'm telling you, this is the concept that changes people's homes. It changed my home. It will change your home, understanding this concept and implementing it. And this rack in my bathroom to hang clean but not perfectly clean, so I don't want to stick them right back in the closet clothes. That rack is a container, and understanding that it's a container is the thing that will make it actually work, okay? When I say it's a container, what I mean is it's a limit. Container contains, okay, it sets the limit to how much of something I can keep or have in a space, all right? If you're going, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm gonna link some podcasts in the little doolally underneath this video. I'll link some podcasts where I've talked about that, just kind of explaining it. And I'll also link to my book, of course, because you need that. It's also an audio, so you can just listen to it while you declutter. Anyway, but that is a container. And what I mean by that is it is a limited space. I believe the one I have has either 10 or 12 hooks on it, okay? So once those 10 or 12 hooks are full, and then I get undressed and go, okay, well, I'm, gonna hang this on the hook, that needs a place to go. And then I have to one in, one out, meaning if this item needs a place to go, and it's a finite contained space where it's gonna go, then that means I have to choose, well, what on here is actually either something I don't even really love, so I need to just wash it and stick it in the donate box that's next to the dryer, or what is something that, oh, well, this has aired out plenty and it needs to just go back in the closet, or, oh, I'll just wear this today or whatever as I put this up there. Does that make sense? So it's that one in, one out. It forces me to keep it from getting out of control. What I would have done before I understood the container concept, and the reason why things like this did not work for me in the past, was that I would just keep piling on there and pile it on there and pile it on there and pile it on there. And yes, it wouldn't be on a chair, but it would be crazy pants, crazy talk. I wouldn't be able to see what was on there, okay? And that is the big advantage of using this as opposed to the chair, which besides the fact that the chair just looks bad and cluttered and all that and drives me crazy and then I can't use the chair or whatever, the big advantage of this over that is that I can see the things that are on there. And that is just how I roll. I've got to be able to see it, or it's just, whatever. But if it's piled on a chair, there's stuff at the bottom of the pile. I have no idea what's at the bottom of that pile. Okay. So, and if I ever have to get to something on the bottom of the pile, well, then it's this, and then it's huge clothing explosion in my house. So even though it felt like it was some kind of a great idea to put it just in this one spot, it lends itself to crazy things happening clutter-wise, where this is all visible and I can get to the things that I need to get to without it being crazy. But I have to understand the container concept for that to work. I have to understand this is the limit. And when I realize this is the limit, and it's not about me shoving as much as I can on there, and instead it's about, okay, let this be the limit, I go, well, you know what? I really don't need more than 12 hooks full of in-between clothing. Yeah, that's plenty. Okay, that's enough. And when I look at it that way, I pretty much don't ever fill the 12 hooks because I'm thinking of it differently. All right, how do you actually make this work? I'm just gonna tell you guys, this is organizing, not decluttering. And I am the decluttering person. I try to only ever talk about decluttering because little organizing solutions would always just frustrate me because I'm like, well, they don't work or whatever. Mostly it was because I had too much stuff, all right? But the way that I am trying to train myself, because I'll be honest with you, the first time I put stuff on there and thought I have had this great idea, the next day or whenever, a couple days later, when I'm like, where did I put that? Where did I put that pair of shorts? Or where did I put that t-shirt that I knew I could wear again? And I literally looked everywhere for that stuff before it ever occurred to me that it was in that spot. And then I went, oh. So I had to train myself, and I am honestly still training myself to use this solution. Okay, this is the goal, use the solution. So what that means is, as I do a 5-minute pickup, and my bedroom has random things, you know, thrown on the bed for, oh, I'm sure I could wear this later, whatever. As I do a 5-minute pickup, that's where it goes. Okay, so just because I have a place established for something with my natural personality does not mean that I just automatically go in there and put it up. No, it still takes thought, but that 5-minute purposeful time of going, I'm gonna pick up in here, that's where that goes. That's its home, okay? Which is training me to make it the first place where I would look. And that's where I get really, you know, it makes me nervous to tell anybody a solution when I'm like, oh, okay, is that the first place where I would look? But when I'm talking about that, that's my decluttering question number 1 if you're new around here. Where would I look for this first? Well, if my answer to where would I look for this first is the floor, well, I don't want it to be on the floor. That's when my room is out of control. It's on the floor or thrown across the end of the bed. You know, if that's the first place where I would look for it, but that place is a place that makes my space out of control, then I go to, if it wasn't there, where would I look for it first? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm not saying, yes, I'm embracing how my brain actually works by putting things in the first place where I would look for it, but I'm not letting it be an excuse for me to, oh, well, I can't do this, when the actual first place I would look is a bad place, like the floor or shoved on the end of the bed. Does that make sense? Another way, you know, somebody asked me the question, I wrote a blog post about this. I'll link to this down there too. Somebody had asked me, you know, well, what about, you know, helping the other people in their home do this? You know, I went and bought these little racks. I think I got them at TJ Maxx. I'm not sure. I do have a link to one on Amazon in my blog post, but I bought them for everybody in my house. Like, I was so excited that this was actually working for me then, and I was like, this is such a logical solution. We're gonna do this. It's working amazingly for my daughter. I mean, she took to it. She was like, yes, that was the answer that I needed. My husband is a great sport about everything, and he was like, okay, great. Now, his natural thing is to put it, like he usually puts things over there on the end of the bed. So what I've been doing is, as I do my 5-minute pickup, I'm just, whatever he's put on the end of the bed in his normal spots for the things that he's gonna wear later, because he really will wear them later, I just go put them on that thing. And that has started triggering in his head, oh, I've done that with 3 different pairs of workout shorts. I don't actually need to do that, or whatever. Make sense? Okay. Not workout shorts that he got super gross or anything, but like things he wore around the house and stuff. Anyway, so it's the consistently training myself to use this solution. Let me look at my notes, because I actually wrote notes, but I haven't looked at them. Yeah, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna be done here. Main things for you to remember. One of my first steps was getting rid of the chair. Not having the chair to have it as a mindless place for me to put things. The end of the bed, that triggers that I need to do something with that stuff, because it gets on my nerves that that stuff is at the end of the bed when I'm trying to sleep in that bed. The chair that I didn't sit in ever because there were clothes on it, that needed to go and be gone. Eliminate that space as that item as a place to pile things. Other things to remember, I do have to train myself. Using the 5-minute pickup as a way to train myself to use that item, that organizing item, and to look for things there, okay? To consistently use it, remembering that that hanger is a container, okay? Container is not something to put things in, it's something to limit how much I can keep. And when I view it as a container, when I view it as a limit, then I am able to keep that thing under control and let it actually serve the purpose that I want. So thanks for joining me. I'm gonna try to make videos more often, but don't I say that every time I make a video? I'm Dana K. White of aslobcomesclean.com. I have a podcast. I have 2 books, How to Manage Your Home Without Losing Your Mind and Decluttering at the Speed of Life. And I hope you'll subscribe so that when I make more videos, hopefully you'll actually see them. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.